Thanks for agreeing to this chat show.
My pleasure.
So we're going to basically talk about a subject which you like, finance, right? You have been breathing finance a good part of your life. Probably must have decided to do that right the time you came into college, right? So let's talk about a subject which is of your interest. Today, many philosophical experts talk about a prolific batting relationship between Krishna and Arjuna. You know, they had the Kurukshetra war, but of course they were fighting for a common cause, which was Dharma. I believe there's an analogy between what they were doing and what a relationship between CEO and CFO is, because they are fighting for a company. Or not say fighting, they're working for a cause of the company. What is your take on this?
Yeah, I think this is a very special question, never thought about that. But if I look at Krishna, I can, and specifically with respect to Arjuna, he was more of a philosopher, a guide, a coach in one way. And Arjun, as per me, was a warrior and also a very good disciple and a learner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, however, both of them, one was the god, other was the human being. Both of them were really very good friends as well. Being such a distinct characters. One of the things which actually I believe they were friends were because they were trusting each other.
Absolutely, I agree.
So the trust factor was huge in both of them, and they believed in each other. While Krishna believed in Arjuna's skills and Arjuna's high motivation towards Dharma, and similarly Arjuna also believed in Krishna, whatever advices he gave to him. When you want to relate this now with the CEO and the CFO, I would place CEO as Krishna and CFO as Arjuna. The reason behind was, the Krishna was the master strategist, and I feel the role of the CEO is to make strategy. Not only make but also deliver and get everybody along and deliver that strategy.
Absolutely.
Okay. And in order to make that strategy, there has to be a one vision.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a vision, a
Agree.
milestone, and an objective, right? So if CEO and the CFO are able to look at that vision together, like Krishna and Arjuna did with Dharma, the common goals can be achieved.
Mm-hmm.
I would relate more on that side.
Correct.
The other area, what I also think when it comes to Krishna and Arjuna, whenever they were both at the battlefield,
Mm-hmm.
Pandavas were never in a losing position.
Mm.
Whenever they were together in the battlefield.
Correct.
What I recollect, of the war that happened, only once, I think both of them were out of the war, and that day Abhimanyu died.
Correct.
Right?
Mm.
So if I look at this as well, if CEO and CFO are together,
Presence of them. Correct.
and also even not physical presence, but their overall aura and the togetherness will lead the company to the next level. They will never lose a battle. So that is, I think, my take.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In fact, that what you talked about of faith is the most important part. If that faith is there, everything falls in place. Great, good.
And one more thing, is the friendship angle.
Absolutely.
When Krishna and Arjuna were friends, they can talk to each other as friends, whether it is good or bad. I think the relationship between CEO and CFO could also be something like friends, right?
It's more than friendship. I would say transparency was there between them, because today's world, friendship sometimes has its own pluses, minuses, but transparent friendship was, I think, which was a very, very important parameter in the whole relationship of Krishna, and they really did a very good communication at critical level. So that was a great, and that's how I think Kurukshetra is all about, right?
Yeah.
Good. So Vikas, let's move to another question. You have practically, I would say, started your career with Schindler in India. You joined at the inception stage of Schindler, which was around 1998. 2 decades, practically. 2 decades, 2 years, 21 years. You've seen Schindler's ups, downs, sinusoidal curves. Would you be able to tell what were the top, probably 1, 2, or 3 ones which were the turning or the game changer for Schindler India, and maybe one where I think were a bit of a problem, where Schindler India could have done better or went in a little bit of a dip. So if it is there, so would you be able to share something on that?
I would say it was a very long journey, and there are many things.
Yeah, 2 decades. Yeah. 2 decades is a lifetime.
But if I have to just select 3, which was not only a game-changing moment, for me personally as well, but also for the company overall. So, I joined in 99 and I became the CFO in 2005. In fact, October 2004. So I would count that as almost 5. So we were not doing so well, that, and for us, profitability was one big factor, where although we were selling units, but we were not able to get the money back, or we were not able to deliver the profits. So as a CFO, when I took over, that was one big challenge. And for us, not only for me, any employee who works in an organization wants to work in a profit-oriented company. Right?
Absolutely.
Because they are looking at security, they are looking at growth, they are looking at, and being also a pride factor, right? That you are working in an organization which is profit-making, right? And it also gives them opportunity to grow. So the first point was when we did a break-even. That was
2005 or 6?
2005.
Correct.
2005. So I still recollect, that break-even point, even not making losses, was such a big achievement.
Absolutely.
At that point of time. And as a CFO, after taking over the reins and doing that was also something
milestone,
which was for me, wow, at least we have done this. I think that was one big factor, not only for me, but everybody who joined the organization since 98 and was still having this faith in Schindler and continued to work for Schindler.
Correct.
So I think that was one big moment, wow moment for us. The second was with you, Shuday, when we set up the factory. Okay. So 2012, when we started that, and to make in India, to deliver from India, is a different feeling.
Absolutely.
And I think this journey, I would give a lot of credit to you.
No, I think it was a team effort, which was
but you were I would say the main strategist behind that, right? And for us, that was always a dream that we have to do it in India. So 2014 April, when we did the first production.
Correct.
And when we did the business case, we did not say that we'll make money in the first year.
Absolutely.
But we already started.
We started money. That was the most important thing.
So for me, not only me, but everybody in Schindler really loved that. And it was a moment of pride for all of us. Third, for me as well as Schindler, why me as well, when we reached 50,000 units as portfolio. So
that was before we started the factory, no, after. It was after.
It was slightly after.
Slightly after.
I would say. We did that. And, many companies might have reached 50,000 units. So why is it so special? For me, if you recollect today, I mentioned that now we are break-even in Strucos.
Correct.
When you cover your whole cost with service revenue and margins, you have a very strong leverage to grow.
Correct.
And for me, that was a big milestone, that now Schindler India is self-reliant.
No turning back.
No turning back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we will continue to grow no matter what, because we have covered our costs. And also we started paying dividends after that.
Absolutely.
To the group. So huge cash flows. My personal emotional high was Schindler House.
Absolutely. That was my last, thing. It was.
Yeah.
Right?
Although it may not be for everybody, but why it was my personal. In 2004 and 5, Rudy Widmer was the area controller.
Correct.
He came to India, and we were just going out for lunch together. And after Delphi, you see a building called BG House, British Gas. So I told Rudy, I think Schindler will also have one building called as Schindler House.
Did you tell him that when we got
Yes,
Schindler? You
I
did.
sent him a
Fantastic.
So for me, that was my personal milestone. Every big company has its house, so why not Schindler?
Okay.
So emotionally, I would say, maybe not for everybody, but for me at least that was one high. I think something which I do not see any low moments, to be very honest with you, in Schindler, 21 years. Even if I think of something, it's not something which is relevant, which I should tell.
Correct.
And
No, if it is there, you feel your, because see, any kind of a business, ups and downs are always there, and maybe the initial 7 years there were, but they are forgotten.
They were. So I would start my journey when I became the CFO. Prior, we had tough times.
Correct.
We were just asking for money from the group every 3 months.
Correct.
So those were tough times, I would say. But after that, it was only
we
success
became
story.
good cash-rich company. Absolutely. Good, great. Whatever little I know about you, I wouldn't say little, I know quite a lot about you. We have been, if I can take the liberty of saying, we were married for 10 years. I know you're a highly emotional person. As a CFO, is being emotional an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think that's nothing wrong to be emotional.
No, it's nothing wrong.
Everybody has emotions, right? Somebody actually, demonstrates that openly. Somebody are able to, keep that within himself or herself. So, CFO, first of all, is a very tough job. The reason being that, many of the times, you have to say no. And then people actually portray that no into your very tough emotion. Okay. But I can also demonstrate some examples where, I have been very, very open and very, very friendly as well with everybody, and especially with the front line. I would not say it is a disadvantage. I would say it is an advantage, because you can mold your emotions based on the situations.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Based on how the moment is, right? So if it is a moment of joy, you have to show that emotion, and if you have to be really tough, you have to show your other emotions. So I think it's an advantage, if you ask me, if you are able to mold that and portray that to the team, and also deliver the message very strongly what you want to tell.
Correct. So basically what you're saying is, make it an advantage by getting the right skills of saying no.
Yeah.
If you have that in you, which you over a period of time, experience, stuff like that, I think that's the best thing to happen. That's great. We started with a relationship between Krishna and Arjuna, which we kind of compared it with a CEO-CFO relationship. Today's world, or rather let's be very specific, in the industry which you are in, what do you think are the top 3 factors which has to be keeping the bond right, or whatever relationship right, between a CEO and CFO from the company perspective? Means from the company's health perspective, from the progress, from the future. What are the top 3 things and why?
I think, as I also mentioned in your first question, one of the factors which build strong relationship between the CEO and the CFO is the trust. Number
Correct.
one, I would. Now I'm not talking about ourselves. I'm generally talking
we're talking
about this. So even if you don't like the CEO as a CFO, you should not dislike him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My view is that it is not always necessary that you will have a very good relationship always, but at least you should not dislike him. You should have a common vision, at least that values has to match. Okay, the value for me is very, very important. If the values don't match, then you are telling lies to each other.
Absolutely.
For me that is one prime I would say factor to have a very good relationship. If you like him or her as a person, then nothing like it. It will go very well. You will be able to deliver whatever you want. So I think that is one factor.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think the second thing which I feel nowadays, CFOs are no more accountants or financial persons, okay, which have to just report or have to just tell that this is not good, this is bad or whatever, right? A CFO needs to be a business partner. Till the time he or she doesn't become a business partner, which means that not able to understand the strategy, not able to understand the business, if he or she is not able to convert the numbers into strategy and business, it will be a big problem. Because the CEOs now expect CFO not only as somebody who takes care of risk, who is supposed to deliver results, who is supposed to audit and get the things done. They are now expecting CFOs to basically ring an alarm, tell them or guide them looking at the numbers,
analyzing them also,
analyzing them as well, and further improving the business or the processes.
Correct.
So being a business partner is very, very important as per me.
I like that word, business partner. That's, I think, the key.
Yeah. So when you are a business partner, you are owning the business. You are not just wearing a CFO hat. You are actually a mini CEO when you are taking this call.
Absolutely.
Irrespective, if I'll give you an example, if the growth is there, right, and if I have to spend for growth, these spends are known as goods through cost. There you have to really push hard that we need to grow. But wherever you need to control, you need to control. And this only happens if you become a business partner.
Absolutely.
Not just a CFO.
Correct.
I think the third important thing, which is linked to the first one, which is the trust, is the ability to say no by a CFO.
Correct.
And that ability will only come once there is a trust factor built in. I would say on the other side, the CEO should be able to receive bad news as nicely as a good news. If it is both ways, that is one of the factors which always work. Because CFO generally are, one of the management team members who are often given responsibility to deliver the bad news.
Correct.
Right? So, if the relationship is good, if the friendship, because if the company has to grow, the bad news needs to go first, then the good news.
So, and it has to be handled.
It has to be handled. And as a team, both of us needs to handle.
Correct. I agree.
So I think these are, some of the...
So which was right. I talked about a prolific batting relationship.
Exactly.
That is where I think everything, Kurukshetra is a right example of that. It's once that is done, it is very beautiful.
Just like to add one more thing is a CEO-CFO relationship generally is perceived by other management team members as well.
I agree.
As well.
I agree.
If it is strong, it encourages the board, it encourages the management.
And people cannot take disadvantage of it.
Yes.
That's
And if it is weak, the board is
Big
not
problem.
is not happy.
big problem.
I
Everyone.
think that is one other
agree.
reason I think it should be there.
Absolutely right. Great, Vikas. Thank you very much, and all the best for your job which you are already in. Thanks to lockdown and COVID-19, but all the best for your China assignment.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Uday.
See
Thank
you.
you.